Today I want to talk a little bit about the difference between a combat magazine change or a combat reload versus a tactical reload or a tactical magazine change. All right. And it's important to know the difference between the two and when you apply that type of reload or that type of magazine change to your situation. All right. So first, let's talk about the tactical reload. All right. Tactical reload. Magazine is empty, gun is cleared, there's no rounds in it. So on a tactical reload, this tactical reload assumes that we've had to draw our weapon, we've had to engage the target, right? And now we're firing at the target. Bang, 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 bang. And for some reason that threat is perceived to be eliminated or neutralized, right? And I've gone through about half of the rounds in my magazine, right? I'm keeping a little bit of a track about how many rounds that I've shot, how many rounds have gone off, and now I know I've got either a half a magazine left or less than a half a magazine left, and I want to go ahead and do a quick magazine change so that I have full capacity on my weapon if another threat presents itself, or for some reason the threat wasn't neutralized and it came back, right, and became another target that I have to put down, right, or re-engage that threat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a new magazine, right, and I keep all my stuff, guys, rounds forward, right, rounds forward. So I'm going to index this, right, with my finger. I'm going to roll my finger over the top of the magazine and pinch it between my two fingers here, right, and keep it like this. And then as I bring my weapon back to my workspace and I release this magazine, okay, I'm going to simply grab it out of the gun like this with my thumb and my forefinger, put the new magazine in, insert that magazine, right? Now I don't have to engage the slide or push the slide forward because it hasn't locked back, because there's still a round in the chamber, right? So when we do this, let's make sure you got your finger off the trigger, right? And again, we're holding, this is the new magazine that I just pulled. I'm going to roll my finger over the top, grab it just like that in between my middle finger and my index finger. I'm going to release this magazine, grab it with my thumb, right? And as I grab that out, I'm going to move over, put the other magazine in, all right? Put the other magazine in, bring that weapon back up, and then I'm going to go ahead and now I'm ready in case I need to re-engage that threat, okay? Or if that threat is neutralized, and I'm going to holster my weapon. So half full magazine, right? And a lot of guys like to make sure they do some real quick change outs, right? Where they'll switch the magazine, put the other full magazine in the front, right? If you're only carrying one extra magazine, well, then guess what? It's going right back in your magazine slot. Now, one of the things that I like to do if the magazine is completely empty, I do like to turn it backwards so that when I go to grab that magazine, if you feel on a Glock, you feel this little corner right here, it's different than this rounded edge, right? So if I feel that corner, I know that magazine is empty because I can feel that. So I'm not going to go ahead and grab that magazine. But that's just what I do. But again, even a half empty magazine, I'm going to put it in bullets again facing forward if I needed to do another magazine change. Okay. Now, how does that differ from a combat reload, right? Well, a combat reload is simply, the difference is this. When you do a tactical reload, you still have a round in the chamber. Your magazine is only half empty, or you still have rounds in the magazine that you're pulling out of your weapon, all right? On a combat reload, you're heavily involved in the fight, right? Your slide locks back because you're out of ammunition. Now you have to do a combat reload. We're going to come back. We're going to drop that magazine, right, to the ground, put a new magazine in, pull that slide forward, right, and re-engage the target. It's a completely different type of reload, right, because my magazine is empty. When the gun is empty, there's no sense in me taking this magazine, putting it back in here. It's all about speed, right? So when my magazine is empty, I'm going to drop that mag, put in another one, chamber it, and I'm going to move forward back into the fight. That's the difference between a tactical reload and a combat reload. Now, the problem is too many times I see guys on the range actually dropping half-loaded magazines on the ground in the dirt. Now, here's the problem with that. If you want to work on a combat reload, then have a magazine that only has 1 or 2 rounds in it, okay? And go ahead and expend all of those rounds, get that slide lock back, then do a combat reload, drop the clean magazine or the empty magazine on the ground. If you pick up a dirty magazine with rounds in it and then try to re-put it in your gun, guys, you're introducing a lot of debris into this weapon, right? That's going to have more chance for that weapon to actually malfunction. So don't practice a combat reload with magazines that are half full or still have rounds in them, right? It's just not a good practice to get into. And then again, in a combat reload, I'm not dropping a magazine that has any rounds in it and then having to hunt for that if I run out of ammunition, okay? So the combat reload is you're out of ammunition. The tactical reload is I've got still have rounds in my magazine. All I'm trying to do now is go for a magazine change, okay, or an exchange so that I have a full magazine in my weapon. That's the difference. That's how you do it. If you have any questions, guys, put them in the comments below. And as always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give me some likes, some thumbs up, and share the video as much as possible. Have a great day.